Good morning to all viewers of Umtala TV. You are welcome to our today's program where we are at the Moses Mabhida Stadium, where we are also talking to the Department of Labor on a program of the UIF, which they are facilitating and processing the employees that have been working for the city of Durban. We will hear more from the officials and the participants.
Good morning to the viewers at home for Umtala TV. My name is Ismenyiwe Mchunu. I am employed by the Department of Employment and Labor in KwaZulu-Natal. I am the Deputy Director, Labor Center Operations, responsible for Durban Labor Center, the office that is here in Durban Central. I'm currently acting as a Director UIF for KwaZulu-Natal. We are here at Moses Mabhida Stadium because there is a massive retrenchment or a massive termination of about 3,000 workers that were participating in the PEP project program, which is a public employment program scheme that municipality was undertaking, and that program came to an end as at the 31st of March. And then now we have been approached by the eThekwini Municipality. It is not for the first time. I think even with the previous program we had a similar approach of separating this particular project from the queues that are existing in our offices where people are coming in to apply for UIF, because under normal circumstances, if you get terminated, you will visit the office near you to apply. But we decided to treat this massive retrenchment as a project whereby we have called the employer, which in this particular case is eThekwini Municipality, to declare all the people that have participated in the program. We have sorted out the declarations and captured the employment history, including salaries as some of the controls that were earned by these individuals during the term of their employment. Once we have sorted that, we also sorted the issue of payment of contributions. Now we are at the level where we are now entertaining the claims from individuals, whereby we are assisting them to take these claims via our online platform, and also our gadgets that we are piloting in this very project, which is assist for the claims to be taken easily. And then once the claim has been taken, the person moves instantly to an assessment stage where we've got a team of assessors. The employer is here, declarations are already verified, and the assessment is happening also here. Since these people have been terminated as at 31st March, they are now eligible for payment for April and a couple of days, because we are almost at the end of May. It's almost 2 months. So we move them to the payment stage where we are able to at least pay them for the period of unemployment. While they are looking for employment, at least they are able to tap from the UIF program, which is the insurance that covers the workers in cases of times like this. But we did not end there with the application process and payments. We have also brought our other units within the Department of Employment and Labor, which is Public Employment Services Unit. They have joined hands with UIF, whereby they register all the unemployed people that have been terminated on the Department of Labor unemployment database, which is called ESSA, System Employment Services for South Africa, so that they stand a chance to be employed elsewhere on any opportunities that becomes available, because we do have employers that register opportunities with the Department of Employment and Labor. They don't end there. We also have employment counselors, psychologists that are trained, that are focusing on employment counseling. We know that when you are terminated from employment, it comes with many stresses that you don't know what to do next, and with this UIF money that you are getting, you know it's going to come to an end also shortly. So the employment counselors take these people into groups. There are rooms that are prepared to provide an employment counseling, teaching them how to look for a job, where to look for a job, how to prepare for interviews in case you are lucky to be called for interview, so that we link the UIF service with opportunities that might be readily available that can attract these people back into employment. And we also prepare them in terms of how to look for employment, so that we have this value chain as the Department of Employment and Labor that does not end by giving a person their UIF money and then we let them go like that. But we also look at what other programs that they can be channeled into, so that they are able to absorb, seeing the situation that is happening in South Africa. Because not only this termination has happened, there are other departments that are terminating close to 7,000 to 1,000, like your teacher assistant program, like your food handlers in schools. So the reason why we have separated dealing with it, so that we do not overwhelm offices. Within eThekwini, if one can say, there are 4 offices of the Department of Employment and Labor. There's the one that is here in Durban Central. There's another one in the north, which is Verulam office, and then in the western part there is Pinetown office, and then in the southern part there is Prospecting office in Isipingo. So we have put together a team consisting of all these offices to come here, and then we are able to blitz this particular project as one region of eThekwini, so that the minute we are able to process all of these claims, the future payment, because we are not establishing an office in Moses Mabhida, but we are doing this as a project, as a once-off, and the follow-up payments will be done in their nearest offices. Here we have people who are coming from all over eThekwini area. Some may be linked with Verulam, some with Pinetown, some with Prospecting, and some with Durban. So the follow-up payments will be made with the nearest office, and that is going to ease the burden in these offices, because if we have dealt with it as a project, it makes the job easier for everyone. It avoids also people standing in long queues in labor centers. Here, the process is seamless. You come in, we take your application, we register, and we are able to treat it as a project without compromising our controls, and also bear in mind the risk associated with applications. So with this particular project, the employer is on site, the database of who participated is here, is verified, and we move on safely with the process, which is verified from end to end, which makes it safer for us, and also to avoid any particular audit in the near future, because all the documentations are scanned in with each application that we are taking. Ideally, if a person were to walk in or get terminated and walk into a labor center, we have set for ourselves as UIF targets in terms of how do we deal with different applications, particularly for a normal termination unemployment benefits. The turnaround time from the date in which we receive is 25 days to either approve or reject the claim. So we've got 25 days to do that. And then a person is given a date of at least 28 working days later to come in for payment, because obviously we pay UIF on monthly tranches. So if you got terminated in 31 March and you apply on the 1st of April, you are likely to come for payment at the end of April, which is on the 28th or on the 30th of April. So now, with the process here, because it is treated as a project, we have put teams from different offices while offices are continuing with the normal queue. So here you come in, you apply, and then instead of your application being routed while you are at home, you move with your application from stage 1 to stage 2 to stage 3, which is application, and then it moves to quality assurance, where we check if everything is correct, and then it get assessed, and then you are moved to payments, where the payment is made instantly, although it won't reflect real time, but we have captured it, and it will appear on a person's bank account within 3 to 10 working days, depending on their banking institution that they are using. So the process here is end to end, and it got its own controls that are designed particularly to be able to assist this once and for all, which is separated from what we normally do in offices, where it will move and then there will be another section. And we're also dealing with massive application from different people, including those who are applying from home. So we'll find that there is even a particular backlog where maybe the assessors in different offices are not dealing with an application that is taken today. You'll find that the assessor in different offices is dealing with an application maybe that was taken at the beginning of the month, as we are now at the 26th of the month, or maybe on the 5th or on the 10th of this month. But here we are dealing with, because we have excluded those people from the normal process, we are dealing with this as a special project, as an end-to-end project, which we want to deal with once and for all, and then go back into our normal situation. But how we have designed it is to separate a few hands from the office work, while the office work also continues, so that nothing gets compromised. We are able to meet our targets in terms of our respective offices, and we are able to deal with this project. Because if we were to channel these 3,000 people at once to go into these 4 offices, I'm telling you what, it was going to collapse even us meeting those 25 days turnaround time from different offices. So this is how we have designed this outreach project, and we are likely to be doing a similar thing maybe with the teacher assistant or food handlers that I'm told that there is looming termination, or they are terminated already. We're just waiting for a data to come so that we are able to do checks and balances in terms of contributions payment, in terms of declaration. Then we allow people to apply. Ideally, we would say, okay, send people to offices. And we have seen that when people get sent to the offices, you've got a queue, because in actual fact, the 3,000 is not coming at once. We've got this whole week. We started on Monday, and our last day is Friday. So we have engaged the employer that have a data of all participants, and we have separated people for each and every day up until Friday, so that they do not come all at once, because we are going to be overwhelmed, and it is going to be a frustration on them. Because if we have told them to come any day, there will be days where people are sent back to come back on the following day. But now, the way we have structured this project, we are able to manage people. We know who's coming today, and we have already captured their employment history. We know who is going to be coming tomorrow, and we know who's going to be coming on Friday. So we have it structured so that we do not get overloaded with people, and we do not frustrate people also in the way in which we do things. So we have done it before, and we keep on improving in terms of our controls, also in terms of how we deal with it. What is new today is that our ICT have procured tablets, so that modern laptops, we are able to upload information easily, because at times we cannot bring our scanning machines that normally we have in our offices. So we are using these tablets to scan information. At times we used to take boxes of information, we go back to office to scan these things on. So we have strengthened our controls in ensuring that there is a document, there are records that are kept with each application. which is perfect for our environment. We are living up to our slogan to say UIF is working for you. So it's only working for you if it caters for your need, if it cares enough not to make you wait for long, if it cares enough to identify all the loopholes that are going to be creating frustration from the client side, also identify issues that are going to be problematic from our side, because remember, we are in the business of paying people money, and we account to for the monies that we are handling in this process. We need to comply with the provisions of the legislations that safeguard public funds, and we get audited from time to time. So at times when we create these controls, when we create these systems and processes, we need to strike a balance between the two. The client must be happy. We must also be found to be compliant with every provisions that is put in place to safeguard the coffers of the money that we are entrusted with. The fact that 3,000 people have benefited, it means government is doing something. It might not be enough because it is not permanent. And there will be, and it has not stopped, there will be another intake. These, mind you, were just for eThekwini Municipality. There are other government departments with different intakes, but it does signal that the unemployment is higher than it is projected. It does signal that the problem is bigger than we think, because it means if the statistics exclude the people who are participants, who are looming statistics to be added to a complete unemployment, it means there is a problem in terms of creating jobs and sustainable jobs, because it might give people exposure to gain experience, because at times employers are looking for people who have done something before, who have worked somewhere before. It might build in terms of those profiles, but we need these people to be channeled through into employment that is more sustainable. The Department of Employment and Labor does have other programs such as labor activation programs, where ideas that can lead to employment creation. There is from time to time a window that gets opened for any thinker or any employer who can create employment and sustainable employment to make an application, and UIF does fund those schemes, and they call them labor activation programs. And we do have colleagues in the province that champions those, and we do have people who are involved in such projects, but it got to be a sound idea that is going to lead to employment that is more sustainable, that is more permanent than, or even new venture creation where people are going to be self-employed, and there will be some sort of sustainability in whatever activity or economic activity that they are going to do. So to channel people towards that, UIF does have labor activation program, and we use the monies that we collect through UIF to create those schemes. The idea is to create a cycle where people become unemployment, they don't become collectors of UIF monies, but they are reintegrated into labor market or to become employers themselves. No, iqueue ke iqala ingene la ngaphandle bese kuyadlulwa kuyongenwa ngaphakathi kuyila iqala khona iprocess, because people have been already been told. They've been already been told. I think then we have our security desk or in Akuza where they register. So they then register here, and then they proceed to come here, and then this site is an application process. As you can see that already it is fully packed, and we are already on the midday now, and it is fully packed. This is where application clerks are taking applications, and then once the application is taken, then they move this side where we have our officials that are taking that are assessing applications, but we also have our colleagues from the municipality that are sorting out the employment history declarations which are here, and our declarers of employment history are here. They are working with the team from eThekwini Municipality. Then they move to the assessment. Once the claim has been assessed, then they proceed. They then proceed to the payments, which is towards the end of the row. Once the application has been assessed, they move that side, they complete the payment form. It also gets scanned. Once it gets scanned, the paymasters action the payments. So these are already approved people, they are completing. Then towards the last stage, they come here. This is public employment services, as you can see. It's public employment services desk where people register as unemployed work seekers, and they by completing a database form, they get assistance from our colleagues. Then they move in groups. Once they have completed that, there are counseling sessions that are taking place in those rooms which are hidden. We cannot actually go there. There is a psychologist that are conducting. Maybe you can just go closer. You will see that there is a group of people. Before they are released, they get employment counseling. We may not necessarily enter because of consideration associated with employment counseling. So it happens in here. There is our colleague who assists unemployed people on how to look for a job, where to look for a job, and they also provide them with pamphlets in terms of how to apply, for how to make your CV, how to sell yourself during the interview. So they are in that particular session taking place here in the closed environment, providing employment counseling. The Department of Employment and Labor employs qualified psychologists. It's what employers actually pay and hire services for. We've got an in-house registered with HPCSA employment counselors or psychologists that provide particularly employment counseling and assist unemployed work seekers find employment. And we also have practitioners that goes out from company to company canvassing opportunities and persuading employers to use Department of Labor database, because when experienced workers get terminated, the first place they go to is UIF. So they get registered. So if you look for a skilled employee in any particular field, you are likely to find that person on the database. If you are an employer, you may not necessarily need to spend money paying people who look for qualified people. Who can approach Department of Labor and find suitably qualified people for different positions that might have been terminated from any company within South Africa that are here.
Igama lami ngingubusisiwe ngakangqongo, umsebenzi owayesebenza under Municipality umasipala owaye uPEP, samiswa kaPEP. So manje namhlanje sizokwenza ama-UIF ethu. I-process ngiyibona ingcono kakhulu because mengiya ka-Labor before nga-apply kokuqala ngafika ka-Labor, i-process yakhona even though bona basisiza khona but iyayithatha kude, akufani nala cause uphuma lana usuyenze yonke into. So nje ngiyayibona le process namhlanje imnandi, ngathi bengaqhubeka nayo le process because it better than nale ka-UIF ka-Labor. So nje siyabonga kakhulu, ngathi le process bangangayiyeka. Ngiyabonga.
You heard it from the horse's mouth. The Department of Employment and Labor is not only watching on the decline of the employment in the country, but this department is also working in making sure that people that are suffering the unemployment are catered for in terms of psychological support, and they are also taken to some other programs that are skills development to ensure to facilitate for a better opportunity, that when the job opportunity appear, those people benefit from that one. From Moses Mabhida Stadium, Durban.